Hello there, friends and viewers. This is Hengist. I'm with TGN. I want to welcome you to a Battlefield 4 gameplay commentary here in the open beta build of the game. You want to take a look at the date of this video and also that little stamp in the top left of the game screen to indicate that this is, in fact, a beta. It is not a finished product. It is open, so anyone can go on and download it for free off the Origin store. And let's just say the Frostbite 3 for BF4 is not optimized. There was a driver update released for this game specifically, and it's just not quite running properly. So what you're looking at now is the medium graphics presets for BF4, and my computer build, because I know you guys are going to ask, is an HD Radeon 6950 as well as a Sandy Bridge i7. That would be a 2600K. Not my most current build, unfortunately, but no less the one I am playing on, and I would consider that more of an average, maybe above average gaming build right now for enthusiasts. So that gives you an idea of what this game runs like. Now, of course, like I said, it is not optimized. In the full release of the game, I expect this computer to be able to handle it on high, with a little bit of tweaking at a consistent frame rate. But right now, I just turned it down a bit to have that consistent frame rate so it doesn't affect my gameplay, although you will witness a little bit of chugs here. So we'll be talking about my impressions and opinion of BF4 in this video. But first, let's start off with my class. Right now, I am playing as the support class. The support is also known as the medic. He's the guy that can revive fallen comrades, and he can also throw out those med kits to heal up. You can see my health regenerating in the bottom right every time I stand over a med kit. Now, my gun is the Scar, and I am using a reflex sight. You can unlock this around the private first class rank. It depends on how much time you spend playing as a support, but it is the second gun you unlock as a support in the sequence, starting after the AK. Now, the reflex sight is a typical red dot sight. The recoil of the gun is pretty crappy. It's not the best close quarters gun at all. It doesn't fire from the hip well, but it can handle medium range quite well. That's typically what you would use an assault rifle for, and in that case, it works for most maps. And of course, this map, which is the only map available in the beta, it works quite well. So I'm very happy with this build. It's rather effective. Now, BF4, what are the main differences between BF4 and BF3? There have been a lot of ease of life changes, a lot of gameplay changes that I would say, for the most part, promote the squad work even more. I'm ashamed to say, or I'm unhappy to say, that you can only res people now once. They can only die and be resed once, which it kind of hurts to say, but I think it is a positive change, given how much I abused that in BF3. And of course, the commander role is not yet integrated into the multiplayer for the beta build of the game. It does come out very soon, so I'm very excited to check that out. But for the most part, the gameplay has just been improved, and I would say it's just a more enjoyable experience. Now, the graphics overhaul, it's still running in the Frostbite 3, so there are some updated textures and some particle effects, but I really can't express my opinion on the visual upgrade just yet, because I haven't been able to play it on Ultra, and I haven't been able to play the full game. But I'm having a very good time with BF4 so far, despite the performance issues of the beta. It's a lot of fun. Now, I know a lot of people are going to draw comparisons between Battlefield and Call of Duty. It is true that EA has decided to shift DICE's target market from the more tactical shooter, traditionally in like BF2 days and before, to the more casual running gun, more action-packed shooting game to compete with titles that are, let's face it, more popular, like Call of Duty. So I would say this game finds the perfect medium. Now, I haven't been able to try out the hardcore mode, but I definitely feel like I would prefer the hardcore mode, just because I do feel like this needs just a bit more shot of realism. But for the most part, the pacing of this game is way different than Call of Duty. I could say the same about BF3, but certainly BF4 is just more tactical. It's hard to explain why, but I just really get the impression that it requires more thinking than, let's say, Team Deathmatch in Battlefield 3. Now, obviously, I haven't been able to play on all the maps. That's just my first impressions. I'm really liking it. I think the engine is better. Well, the game engine is better. And overall, what I've seen so far is just an upgrade from Battlefield 3. So for those of you that enjoyed BF3, I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all with this title, which is great. Now, it obviously does place a whole lot of emphasis on unlocks and leveling up your character, which I don't see a problem with, although I will warn you, it is very addicting. Perhaps the most addicting shooting game I've played yet. Now this is like I said, the Domination game mode, so we don't get to see any of the vehicles. Domination is essentially just Conquest without vehicles, so you get a bit of a smaller map size, no vehicles, but the same idea of base control wins the game. There I just did a bit of elevator camping. I knew that was coming. Every time you're on the roof by the Charlie building on this map, Siege of Shanghai, and those doors are closed, you can bet your bottom dollar that there's going to be an elevator with at least one person coming up. It could be friendly, it could be enemy. Just be ready to gun them down like I was right there. So as you can see, the SCAR is not totally useless in a close quarters combat, although I would recommend, in most cases, in close quarters, using your pistol. And of course, don't forget that your sidearm allows you to run faster, because if your rifle's strapped to your back, you're able to swing your arms and move with more momentum, aka run faster. Speaking for myself and the way BF4 is shaping up to be, headed towards release on October 29th of this year, I definitely feel like PC is the place to be, not only because it's a shooter, but just because the Frostbite 3 is just better on a PC, man. It scales with hardware so well. I know it's hard to see that in the beta where there's performance issues, but this is really just a stress test. Not sure when the beta is going offline, but it is a great time to hop on and get your practice in. I would say your skills from Battlefield 3 will easily transfer over to BF4. There's not a whole lot that's changed. Obviously, it is the same engine, but there's just improvements. And there'll be a new campaign. The campaign of BF3 was excellent, I thought. And of course, the online will be improved with the addition of the commander role, as well as, you know, additional controls, features that the commander brings to the table, using a tablet to bring in supply drops, airstrikes, you name it. The destructible environments in Battlefield 4 have probably been improved the most out of everything. You can actually bring down skyscraper-sized buildings in this game, and it has a huge effect on how the match turns out. It's a whole lot of fun. Now, I am a bit surprised that DICE decided to get so controversial. I mean, you could argue BF3 was pretty controversial with the US versus Russia, but real-world scenarios considered, this game features a lot of conflict between US and China, just based on the multiplayer experience. And I find that a bit disturbing. You know, the prospect of a World War III type scenario is never really enjoyable to think about. But I mean, this is a war game at the end of the day. You can't take it too seriously. And like I said, it's the perfect balance between Twitch reflex enjoyment and strategy. There's a lot more strategy in the other game modes. The larger maps and the addition of vehicles brings a lot more to think about tactically. And I'm not playing with any friends in this video for squad work, but man, does squad work really, it's so fun, man. Playing with teammates makes this game so much more of an enjoyable experience, and I think that's why Battlefield is pretty much the best shooter on the market as far as I'm concerned, is because you can play with friends and you can play by yourself and still have amazing fun. So here you can see I'm doing quite well. I'm on a bit of a killing spree. The SCAR works well for that. The problem is you really need to plan your encounters out, because it's only a 21 round clip. That's really small for an assault rifle. I'm quite surprised. I really hope you can unlock an extended magazine for the SCAR, because 21 rounds when you're going 1v3, for example, is just not enough. You really need to pick your encounters wisely, reload often, and take cover. The cover mechanics have been improved a little bit. As you can see, I'm kind of peering over the corner just a bit. Got shot from behind. Not sure what that kill was. But yeah, I mean, it was about time I died there. Another thing that was added to the game that I was pretty surprised to see is the anti-knife or the counter-knife mechanic. Oftentimes you would see people just getting totally brazen and out of control in BF3 and just charge you with the knife equipped and then knife your ass head on. I really like what they've done in BF4 because it discourages that kind of behavior. If you try to knife somebody front on, you know, you just charge them face to face, your target has the opportunity to counter knife, which is basically grab your knife and stab you with it because they see it coming. However, if you knife somebody from behind in a more stealthy manner, they don't have the option of doing that. So you got to really think about who you want to knife and when. And of course, wow, I just got shot by a freaking assault rifle right there. I think he was right above me. But yeah, you can see I'm spawning on top of squads here. Overall, I would say people really don't understand the base control all too well in BF4 so far. I would say a lot of these players come from other shooters. You know which ones I'm referring to. And this part of the map, for example, the top of this building, is not in range for capture, but people camp that regardless because it's a vantage point, and I don't know what they're doing up there, but they're not capturing bases or really providing cover for anyone useful. But anyways, we lost that round. It is base capture, pretty straightforward. You can see what the end of round details look like in BF4. I can't imagine this will change for the release. The ribbon systems are very much the same. Although this sort of leveling up system is very addictive, like I alluded to. So make sure you take your breaks, guys. But definitely add me on Origin. I think my friends list might be full, but I'll clean it up for you guys. You can see my KDR there. Not bad at all. Although that's not what Domination is all about. Domination is about base control, guys. Get it through your heads. See, the point system is a better indicator of how useful someone has been for the team, not so much the KDR. Anyways, folks, I want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more videos like this, and I'll make it happen. Squad work is on its way, regardless of what you say. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.